Hey, what's up, everybody? Grant Wise. Wanted to jump in and talk a little bit about metrics that matter when it comes to measuring the success of your ads, more specifically Facebook ads. A couple of the things I'm going to go through today are in relation to specific ad strategies that we typically teach that we know work really well in real estate. And so I'm going to go through and help you understand how to identify whether or not a specific campaign is working. So we're going to talk about a couple lead generation ads, and then we're going to talk a little bit about remarketing campaigns so you can understand what your average cost per lead should be and things you can do to enhance that. And then we'll talk a little bit about remarketing campaigns and what you want your numbers to look like when it comes to remarketing. So I'm going to dive into specifically the first ad strategy. So the homes list ad is an advertising strategy that we lean on to generate leads for both buyers and sellers in any given market. And there's a few things that make this a little bit of a science, which is the price point you're marketing. You can get the median price point on the home sold in the MLS for the last 90 days. That'll tell you what price point to market. And then some of the other different types of targeting terms and images and those different types of things. But the ads you see here are typically what we run across the board in most markets, and they perform very well in most markets. While this is not a strategy conversation, what I am going to do is jump behind the scenes into a Facebook ad account and show you what results you should look for when it comes to measuring the success of the homes list strategy. So in this ads manager, we're behind the scenes. You can see we're looking at the Zioli Teams account, and this right here is a homes list priced at $450. So we're giving a free list of properties available under $450,000. And so if you look at the budget, it's a $5 daily budget. So far, we've got 49 leads, and our cost per lead is $2.82. And so when we go in and we kind of analyze this campaign, we actually noticed when we started this that the campaign wasn't performing as well because the budget was off. So the cost per lead for homes list right now should be about $1 to $3 depending on the market and the price point. And the cost per lead was like $6.86. So you start to ask yourself, okay, why is that happening? What is causing the cost per lead to be high? What we found is that for the homes list campaigns specifically, typically what is causing that is that the price point that we're marketing is inaccurate. When you look at like the targeting, for us, the targeting is pretty standard. It is something that changes, but once you figure out what works, you really don't ever have to change it. What we've found is that in Facebook ad performance, if the cost per lead is above the $3 average that we're looking for, we go right to the culprit, right here to this price point. And if you, again, look at the median price point of homes sold in the last 90 days, it'll tell you what price point to look for. If the cost per lead is high, we know that that price point is typically not right. And so when we're analyzing a lead ad campaign, which is what this is, we're looking for really our average, which is about $3 in most markets. If you go into the higher price points, like $700, $800, million, that kind of stuff, you'll get into the $7, $8 price point from a cost per lead standpoint. But again, that can become your normal KPI, key performance indicator to look for. And if you know that you're getting leads for like $12 or $15, you would then be able to say, okay, this price point is probably inaccurate. We found in the last decade, really everything hinders on this price point. And the reason is because the median price point of homes sold in the last 90 days, that's where all the turnover is happening. That's where the market's basically playing. Think of it like pools. So you have the median, and that's a pool. That's where everybody's swimming. Well, if you go higher than that, think of it like another pool that not as many people are swimming in. If you go lower than that, think of that as another pool that there's not as many people in, so there's not as many people swimming. So look at it like there's not enough fish to catch in those higher or lower price points. So you'll see if you got the price point too low, your cost per lead will go up and the number of leads you get will go down. If your price point is too high, same thing. Your price per lead will go up and the number of leads will go down. The median is really where all the action's happening. So when you're running a homes list style campaign, you want to make sure that you're using that median price point. And if you look for the averages, typically in most campaigns we see like this, it's about $3. And if the numbers start to creep way above that, you got to look at, is the price point right? We found that that's really the main indicator. The cost per lead tells you, hey, this is kind of what your overall cost per lead is right now with this specific campaign. In this one, it's 282, so it's under our average threshold, so that's what we kind of look for. And then if it's off, we go straight to the culprit, which for us is the median price point of homes sold. And if you look at some of these other campaigns, these are listings, different types of other strategies. The measurements we're trying to give you is more so on the homes list today. These are all million plus properties that the cost per lead is actually a little bit better than it should be. But that is one of the main things we see that will help you understand if your homes list ad is performing. Now, the next thing is remarketing. When you're doing remarketing, typically you're doing something with like video ads. Okay, so there's introductory type content, there's educational type content, there's testimonial type content, and you see all of those here. These are just examples. When somebody comes into your business as a lead, we start to remarket them. Remarketing is very simply just continually marketing to somebody over and over and over again until they decide to hire you. You may have experienced this yourself if you've ever bought a product from Amazon or any other site that does it. You go to the website, you decide not to buy the product, you leave, and then all of a sudden that product's following you around Facebook and Instagram until you buy it again. Well, that's exactly how remarketing works, and that's exactly how our real estate agents are using remarketing to convert more of the leads that they're generating. On average, they're converting about 200 to 300% more than their competition. The only difference is the remarketing campaigns. And so if we look at the performance from a remarketing standpoint, we can start to see that the cost per result will vary and adjust, but it'll tell us how to kind of look at things. So I'm going to dive into that. So if we get back into the video remarketing campaigns, you can see we have these clearly labeled. So there's the homes lists right here, and then there's the remarketing campaigns here. So this remarketing series of ads is being remarketed to all these leads. All these leads that come through and engage with our lead forms are then seeing our advertisements. And so if we click into the video remarketing campaign, you can see that our result that we're going for is a video view, and we've optimized the ads for through plays. And a through play is when somebody watches at least 15 seconds of the video. And so if you want to get some insight into some of the results and stuff like that, you can look through this. But we're going for somebody watching at least 15 seconds. And the KPI that we shoot for is 5 cents per through play. Now, sometimes we try to go way lower than that. We try to get down around a penny. But what we do is we launch quite a few videos from a remarketing standpoint, 3 or 4, at one time, and we see what those averages really start to mold into. So if we go through and we look at all of these videos, the average of all of this watch time is 5 cents. But if you see the campaigns that are either off or aren't as relevant anymore, we weren't able to get them under our 5 cent per through play threshold. If we go through and we look at a lot of these videos that are in place, we're seeing that most of them are under or just slightly over that threshold of a nickel per through play, meaning we're paying 5 cents to get somebody to watch at least 15 seconds of our video content. So when somebody opts into this team's Facebook ad campaign, or really any ad campaign, what they're going to come back and see is all of this video content. This is not necessarily what every agent does. These agents are just absolutely thriving from a video standpoint. They love creating video content. So it really makes it easy for us to create a lot of content in their remarketing campaigns. But if you come over here and you look at this, they're not seeing the same video over and over and over and over and over again. If we go through and we add a tracking metric to this called frequency, this is a variable that we look for. We're going to click frequency and apply it. If we come in here to the frequency, the only video that's been seen a ton is the speed round, that's what most of the budget has been pushed through. But if you look at everything else, it's less than a 2, or it's just barely over a 2, meaning everybody in the audience has seen that one video at least 2 times. There's a couple 3s in here, but for the most part, this audience of leads, which isn't but a few hundred leads, has seen all of this content over 3,000 times. That doesn't mean they've seen the same video that many times. It means that all of this audience has watched at least 15 seconds of certain pieces of content this many times. So if we go back again to the videos that are in place, we start to see that, okay, this ad's doing good, this ad's doing bad, blah, blah, blah. We shut it off based on our cost per through play metrics, which we analyzed a second ago. And then we look at the frequency. Are they watching the same video over and over and over again? Well, that answer here is no. And this is really good. We probably wouldn't change these videos till they got up into like a 4, 5, 6 from a cost per through play standpoint. But that's not the case here. So what this feels like when a user opts into this team as marketing is every time they go back to Facebook or Instagram, they're seeing this team, but they're seeing them in a different way each time. And that's so powerful because it makes this team feel bigger than they really are because they are controlling the attention of their lead base. So from a cost per lead standpoint, you want to try to target around $3 cost per lead in most markets. If your price point gets really high, you're going to be in the $6 to $8 territory with the Homes List campaign. And then from a remarketing standpoint, you want to target a nickel per through play. Now, sometimes when you start, your cost per through play is going to be higher. It could be as much as $1. What you want to make sure you pay attention to is how big is the audience you're remarketing to. Sometimes if you don't have a lot of leads, you're basically just hitting the same people over and over and over again with the same stuff. And that makes it so important to create more videos or generate more leads, which means you would increase your spend or you would increase the number of videos that you're advertising. And so there's just a few variables that I wanted to throw out there so you can measure the success of your marketing campaigns. This team is having an amazing degree of success with all the ads that they're running from a lead gen standpoint. Sorry, get that screen out of here. And from a video remarketing standpoint, they're getting a lot of attention in the way they're getting leads, and then they're able to keep it by showing a lot of different pieces of video content that are performing exceptionally well. So hopefully those metrics help you. We'd love to answer any questions in the comment section if you have them. Hope you have an amazing day.